Potato, Emasha had generalized trauma of sexism and colorism, while Sam had bugs and
Every time-
criminals and sociopaths.
Every time I'm trying to tell a sad story, like, oh, but in my place I was staying, bugs couldn't survive. And you're like, well, sexism, colonialism, racism. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have complained about the bugs. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to
Sorry, Amma, I married a Kiwi.
everybody's favourite cross-cultural, dramatic, comedic podcast.
Yeah, thanks for coming back.
If you're new to the podcast, this is the basic gist.
Okay, oh my god, basic gist. What happens is a Sri Lankan girl meets a Kiwi boy.
She's the Sri Lankan girl. She's Emasha.
Yeah, I guess people can get that.
I'm the Kiwi boy. I'm Sam. Please continue.
So a Sri Lankan girl meets a Kiwi while she was getting prepared to go back to Sri Lanka for good. Within a month, Sam just makes a full bulletproof plan to lock me down, but I still go back home.
I met Emasha on the very first date. She said she's going back in 30 days. So it was 30 days to win the Emasha. And now we're up to the bit in the story where she did go back.
And now we're talking about what happened in the 3 months after I go back to Sri Lanka. That's what we're talking
That's what we're talking about. Last time we left off, Sam had volunteered himself for medical experiments as a guinea pig. And so he was riddled with COVID, he later found out in the clinic. He thought it was the drugs. He was kind of having to make calls from the floor of a shower as the one area where he wasn't being monitored by medical staff to do long-distance calls with Emasha. Emasha made that look like no drama whatsoever because she was in the thick of it in Sri Lanka.
It was, and last week, if you remember, if this is not your first time, if this is your first time, go back and listen to the last week episode, or maybe the whole thing, up to you. But anyways, last week we talked about proposal marriages, and then we were kind of I was actually trying to give some sort of a deep context.
Incredibly deep and profound cultural context.
While Sam was reading some text messages that I sent a long time ago.
They were cheesy.
So, yeah, it was pretty deep and cheesy at the same time. I don't know how that happened.
That is basically that's our bread and butter. So thanks for joining.
Yeah, so...
Also, last time we discussed how it was like a common thing in Sri Lanka to put these kind of proposals. We discussed, the exact flavour of kind of arranged marriage that this was, is that, the parents will kind of put a few options before the child, and the child kind of sees which ones they resonate with. And a common practice of this is advertising potential matches in the newspaper. Is this correct, Emasha Kuretawaku?
This is absolutely correct. And as I was explaining, giving the context, there are a few ways of arranged marriages happening. One being a kapua. I should have mentioned that word, which is a very fun word.
Kapua?
Kapua is the matchmaker.
Ah.
Yeah. So apparently there's a pandemic of kapuas. I was just like...
Is that like having a murder of crows or a...
No. I was just... Because if you guys remember, last week I promised I'm going to bring some evidence of these newspaper advertisements for wedding proposals. So I was looking into that.
Oh my gosh, do you have them here in the studio?
Yes, I do. I think I just saved someone to your phone. So... Yeah, while I was going through that, I just came across this article that talks about how marriage proposal industry works and like all that kind of interesting stuff about it. That's where it talked about pandemic or epidemic?
An epidemic.
I think epidemic, not a pandemic. What's the difference?
Pandemic certainly brings certain things to mind nowadays.
Yeah, I don't think we should go there. Or we talked about it last week.
We did.
Think. Yeah.
So what do you find?
It talks about a few different conversations with regard to how arranged marriages work, one being kapua. So there are so many kapuas apparently coming up. And some of them, in a way, brings the technology into it. And there are pretty few websites that do kapua services. So matchmakers has come to the newspaper advertisement level as well. So you have the kapuas, you have the newspapers, you have parents' connections. So those are kind of like the three main ways that I can think of. But what I was trying to say is that when I was reading this article, it kind of talked about some things that I mentioned last week about how parents bring the bit of the emotional game into it just to convince the kids to be like, oh my God, please get married. And then kids are like, no, can't be bothered. And then parents go like, when you refuse to cooperate, so this is the news article I'm reading, when you refuse to cooperate with their efforts to get you married, Sri Lankan parents often resort to managing to get the job done, saying things like, we are growing old, we could die soon. They will tell you woefully, appearing in the very pink of health. Otherwise, we only want to see you happy and settled in life before we go. After we are gone, who's going to find you a partner for life? Confronted with this very reasonable but unwarranted question, you must refrain from replying, just about every other middle-aged person I know. So, yeah, the article continues to go. I'm not going to go there, but I found that pretty funny how this article talks about the proposal industry, the sexism in the proposal industry, where when it comes to looking for a spouse, females are valued for their domesticity and males for their financial independence. And when we're reading these newspaper advertisements that I found, you will find how they are worded.
Oh, great. Which one do I get to read?
Directly jumping into it, are we?
Just go into it. Just give me one, no context. I'd like to read it.
Okay.
Central Province, Buddhist Govi.
Yep, Govi is the caste. As I said again last week, surprisingly, the caste comes into the picture very much when it comes to the wedding marriages.
Okay, Central Province, Buddhist Govi, AL qualified.
Advanced level qualified. That's the.
Oh, yep.
Yep.
That's right there at the start.
Exam. Yep.
I thought that was 5-inch, but 5-foot daughter?
Yeah.
5-foot daughter teaching in a Buddhist school, possessing dowry.
I did not expect to see Buddhist and dowry in the same sentence in this day and age, but here we are.
Retired parents seek employed son. This is all still the same advert. Her brother is employed in mercantile maritime sector and sister is married. Contact with horoscope and phone number. The priority is in that order, clearly.
Go to the next one.
Close to, I like how the first word in each of these adverts is like capitalized.
I don't think that's intentional.
It puts a weird amount of emphasis. Close to Anuradha. I haven't said this in a while. Close to Anuradhapura,
yeah.
Buddhist Govi, 29, 5'5", well-mannered, virtuous, kind, charm, fair, propertied daughter, undergoing a specialist training in medical sector. Mother seeks virtuous, well-mannered, especially a doctor/engineer son, devoid from all vices.
Can you imagine? Especially a doctor or an engineer.
Who's also devoid from all vices.
Yeah.
Contact with horoscope.
Okay, read the next one.
You should read this one.
Okay. It goes, close to Colombo, Portugovi, final year medical student of a government university, 5'5", in a height, fair, complexioned, slim-figured, very beautiful daughter. Doctor parents seek suitable parents.
Suitable partner.
Sorry. Okay, my bad. Doctor parents seek suitable partner, within brackets, doctor preferred.
It's just crazy the amount of doctors and engineers just running around and
looking for doctors and engineers.
Who makes the food, in this economy? Who's getting the tea? There's a whole society purely of doctors and engineers. And fair, very, very beautiful people.
What?
How recent was this article?
I think these are from this year or last year.
Oh, cool. Cool.
Probably, I don't know. Very recent years. I'm not quoting these from 1900s.
Oh my gosh. I like
from when you read this, like I forgot to mention this last week, I think. So the concentration, it's not that arranged marriages or proposal marriages are bad or the parents are trying to do something bad. It is that the criterias that you're focusing on age, you're focusing on the career, you're focusing on the religion and the caste, and you're focusing on whether the person is slim or fair. We heard slim and fair.
Yeah, I think
and handsome.
How often the word fair is used, how often doctor and engineer is used, and how prominent like the request for the horoscope is are all very interesting.
It is so the next one is also...
No spoilers, but Emasha and I didn't even dive into the horoscope thing when the time
had
came.
enough.
Like, I think there's enough barriers to this relationship. Thank you very much.
I'm not somebody who believes in horoscopes as much. I'm not saying there's no science behind it completely. I'm not completely...
You're being very balanced for this podcast, I have to say.
Well, I'm not going to say, oh, hell no, that's completely, utterly bullshit for something that I don't know about. You know? Yeah. But I don't think there are actually people who knows about it very well. So I'm not going to trust some random person when they're saying, it's like, oh my God, if you don't do this by this time, you're going to be screwed. I'm like, maybe.
But I unlocked all the doors only to have, oh, I'm sorry, Jupiter's not rising.
I know.
Better luck next time.
So we have another one that goes, Buddhist Govigama, respectable parents seek pretty and caring daughter for fair, handsome son. Born in so-and-so, educated in a leading school in Colombo, having work visa in Australia, presently employed in Sri Lanka, yada, yada, yada.
Give me one last one to read.
Okay, this one.
Buddhist Salagama, engineering graduated, army captain's son from a decent family. Parents seek educated, pretty, virtuous daughter only from Southern, Western and Buddhist Salagama. Govi individuals. Cool. There's a number. Contact after 8 p.m. Horoscope compatible. Okay, nice.
There was another one. A kind-hearted, educated, slim, pretty daughter from a respectable family is sought by Buddhist Karava is another caste. Well-to-do, respectable parents in Colombo suburbs for their handsome son.
With good personality and Buddhist values. PhD in science.
Wow, that's impressive.
Currently working as a lecturer at a government university. Inherit substantial assets.
Oh, God.
Brother doctor. Castle immaterial.
No, cast.
Oh, cast immaterial. Well, that's nice.
Good. Yeah.
I thought they were just like, I thought it was like, we own a castle, but it's immaterial at this stage. Well, la-di-da. Oh, the cast material, that's kind of sweet. I mean, it's a low bar, but that's
It's a low bar, that's nice, yeah. Like, I can't believe we still see the words like dowry and like the slim or pretty or fair. You know, it's like,
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, there was another one that I saw from a Reddit post. I'm going to read this. Sri Lankan matrimony advertisements, aka cringe. I saw this and found this fucking hilarious. Maybe the parents have an airline fetish and want to cash in on the discounted employee tickets.
Oh my gosh, what are you reading on Reddit?
Western province, respectable family background, intelligent, decent, pleasant, fair complexioned medical student daughter, only daughter of family, director of education, father and mother seek educated only
pleasant son.
Daughter of family, director of education, father and mother seek educated, virtuous, pleasant son, air pilot or aeronautic engineer preferred. Holding high position in airline company also considered.
Nice. They don't want much at all.
They're so specific.
What's the comment below that they said? Imagine their daughter falling in love, but it won't be approved because the dude isn't in the airline industry.
That's all I have.
That's great.
What do you think about these advertisements?
Yeah. So I thought you were asking the listeners. I mean, it'd be fun to have done this at the start of the process. I remember when you mentioned the concept or like maybe the fear that your parents might do an advert like that, I was just that was so like outside of my world of reference. Yeah. It was just like, what? Like we talked about last time, like the classifieds, tend to be associated maybe like an older person who was seeking companionship and had tried all the other avenues type thing. Yeah. But I guess that's what Sri Lankan parents think you're doing after 30. It's like, well, we've tried everything else.
But like now that you have I don't know how we got into this point without I reading you an advertisement for a marriage proposal. But here we are.
I feel my life is richer for it though, so thank you.
Yeah. It's virtuous at least. So now that you have listened to those advertisements or like the things that the expectation out there, like how ridiculous some of the expectations are, or like how narrow the world they're looking for their kids. What do you think? Like, have you ever imagined?
I mean, we talk about like the stereotype of wanting wanting your child first to be lawyer, doctor, engineer. I guess secondly, wanting them to marry a lawyer, doctor, engineer. And I don't know. I think it's not surprising from all our conversations, but right. the fair thing, I think that's still the thing that sticks with me the most, like how blatant that, that kind of hierarchy by skin color is. I know you've talked about like your experiences of growing up with relatives making like, or, people that you knew in passing making kind of off comments about you not being light enough and you fix that. And we've already talked last episode about how ridiculous the double standard is of me being, mocked for being a pasty, pale guy my whole childhood.
Why people never happy? Why can't you be happy about what you have?
So hard, man. I think bullying builds character, but I wish we didn't need the bullying to get there.
I don't think that's
I mean, it definitely taught humility. But yours, yours obviously, your experience of that is so extreme, and I know a lot of that probably didn't seem extreme to you until you were exposed to like NZ society and had a comparison, right?
There were definitely extreme places that I experienced that. I don't know if you know this story or if I have ever told you this story. I was a news anchor back in Sri Lanka.
What?
You know this. Come on, Sam.
I do know the story.
Yeah. I don't know if you know about this particular story that I'm going to tell.
Oh, I sure do. And they're going to love it or love to hate it.
Okay. Oh, that's good to know. Anyways, so what happened was I was interviewing to become a news anchor in one of the prominent media houses in Sri Lanka. It's kind of like the equivalence of TV1 in New Zealand.
Probably even more prestigious. Sorry, TV1.
I don't know. No comments. Somehow this is like very I just got into university and then I was going through this time of like, oh my God, I need to give this a try as well. So I got good opportunities in 2 of the news channels, but one of them they wanted me to completely forget about the degree and then come and join them, which I didn't want to do. I didn't want to get rid of, let go of the low degree that I really worked hard for. So I was like, okay, well, bye-bye now. But the other one, they were open for opportunities of part-time. So I was very keen for this spot. So we went through multiple interview processes, reading in front of few different interviewers, and then finally we had like the actual studio. They just made us wear similar kind of the sari outfit that they make their news anchors wear, so they had like a proper idea of like what we are going to look like on the camera. So we had the studio recordings, and then not the chairman at the time, he was like the second person who was in charge in the whole media. This is like massive. So that guy had all of us in one of the meeting rooms, like a ginormous meeting room, and we had all the probably like the 10, 12 parties, like the last bit of the people who are screen testing for this to become a news anchor. And they had the producers, the directors, and everybody who did the interview process up until now. Then now this guy is the final tech. So he's like, okay, these guys, we're going to go ahead from this one. So there was a big massive TV in the meeting room, and they would be playing one by one. Just imagine the pressure. Like, it's kind of like auditioning process. They would like play one by one everybody's audition tape, sort of, the screen test that they did in the news studio, and then everybody would make comments and then kind of consider whether it's okay to go ahead. And then mine was played. This guy just had no consideration. He just went, it's like, oh, well, we can put some makeup and make it work.
Do you say something specifically about makeup to make it fairer? Or?
He sort of, like, if I say it in Sinhalese, you would understand, but I'm not going to say it that way.
Can you tell us the Sinhalese?
Because it's kind of like, makeup වලින් සුදු කරලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. So ඒක නිසා ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ. So
no
which
problem,
means
she's
yeah,
right.
yeah, you're picking some words, which kind of makes it like, oh, the makeup would make her a little bit fairer, so it won't be a problem. And I was like, the fact that I was just sitting there and then silently taking it because I had no other option.
And just in front of a massive audience.
It's
right?
in front of a massive audience. I mean, if I finally got the job, and I was a news anchor for a while there. But at the same time, the fact that people consider that's okay, it's a country of, I mean, most of the people are my skin color, and then it's just insane. So it's still to the day, it is a problem, and I have been on the thick of it.
But you went on, you became a news anchor for how many years?
I didn't do that too long because there were so many things going on. It's like the political background of it, and being studying for law school is not the easiest thing.
Most people struggle in law school. They're not also being a news anchor on one of the most prominent TV channels in the country.
Wasn't easy, but yeah, it was a fun time. Another story just flashbacked into my head. When I was probably grade 5, they're just like grade 4 or 5, which is like I'm 10 years old. This is ridiculous. I was wanting to read for a part in a play. You don't know this story.
Oh.
I always loved theatre and stuff, but I never really got the chance to do
We're
theatre.
both drama kids.
Yeah. So I wanted to read for a part. Do you know the story where the frog becomes a prince?
Yes, The Frog Prince.
Is that the name of it?
It's the name of the Disney adaptation. I know that much.
So anyway, so this Disney story was made into a school kid drama production thing, and I wanted to read for it, but I was only auditioned for the witch's role because I'm not fair enough.
Oh my God.
And it was an English drama as well, and I wasn't really good at English at the time. So double whammy. She's not fair, man, and like, well, she's not the best English.
This is literally turned into a witch hunt.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, I was like, just imagine you putting through that, a 10-year-old through that. So yeah. Anyways,
It's hard
trauma.
It's hard enough when a kid gets told in production he's going to be the tree in a corner. I can't imagine if you're also like, it's because of your skin color.
But then nobody says it, to be fair.
Oh
Fair.
yeah.
Nobody says it to your face. That's because you're not fair, darling. But I think that girl would be a better option. And then you look at her thinking, what's the difference between you and I? You're a bit fairer than I am. Anyways, so trauma aside, still being fair is a thing. So that's why we talked about Fair and Lovely and stuff like that last week.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are so many stories if you really go into that, but we need to segue back to our main story that we are trying to say here, trying to tell here for. Otherwise we will be here for, I don't know, for the rest of our lives.
So looking back at like my online cyber activity around the time that you'd gone back to Sri Lanka, I was looking up Sri Lankan real estate.
Unknowing to all of these cultural contexts.
Just to be clear, like I was not in a financial place to buy real estate at this time. I was volunteering my body for medical science.
Yeah, that gives
and living in a shoebox. But I think
you were not living in a shoebox at the time, by the way.
Which one was I living in at the time?
Are you talking about your medical experiment shoebox?
No, I was talking about, well, yeah, I guess the medical ward was probably like a step up from my accommodation, which was like that small shoebox beside the university, which was slightly bug infested.
Right.
And bugs would make it into the accommodation, but they'd instantly die because I think the environment was too toxic for them to survive.
Oh my God. And so bugs can't survive it, and then they let students survive there?
Yeah.
Oh, this is pretty bad.
Well, it wasn't student. It was, it was kind of like a kind of collection of, just like interesting different character types. And I feel like maybe a variety of kind of like low-level criminals, I think was and a psychopath who lived next door to me.
Oh my God. Well, potato. Emasha had generalized trauma of sexism and colorism, while Sam had bugs and criminals and sociopaths.
Every time I'm trying to tell a sad story, like, oh, but in my place I was staying, bugs couldn't survive. And you're like, well, sexism, colonialism, racism. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have complained about the bugs.
No, you absolutely have the right to complain about the bugs.
Did I also mention that I didn't have a functional microwave? Because apparently the rooms weren't zoned for microwaves. I didn't know you had to be zoned for a microwave.
Okay.
And I didn't always want to go up multiple levels to the kitchen space because there were some kind of odd characters there. So I figured out I could actually pour a whole lot of pasta into a kettle in my room and then boil the kettle, and it would cook the pasta inside the kettle, and then I would put it into a bowl and I would just mix in like a can of tuna.
Oh,
that was kettle pasta, which kept me going for a few years. And sometimes I'd put in too much water and it would froth over. You know how pasta water is that really kind of frothy, bubbly?
I don't know. And I don't think anybody knows.
It would spill out. It would go all over my desk. So that was one of the risks of kettle pasta.
Kettle pasta.
So, you know, me and Emasha, we both had problems growing up.
Oh my God.
But I was looking up Sri Lankan real estate, which obviously meant that I was thinking.
But this is just to clarify. This is a few like a year or so before, or like a few months before we met. Because by the time we met, you were with Nick and Lara.
Oh,
See,
that's true.
Where I was confused. I'm like,
I'm sorry, I'm mixing timelines here.
What are you referring to Nick and Lara's place as a shoebox?
Okay.
I don't think they would like that.
So the happy story.
That's a beautiful, gorgeous house.
So the happy story, my good friends Nick and Lara bought a magnificent house in Ponsonby and offered for me to move in there to rent, which was great. And I can recommend some of the best life advice I can give is to befriend a doctor, you know.
Who will buy a house in the latest...
or a high-up member of hospital administration early on.
Right.
Because that's really going to pay dividends down the road. And Lara was obviously instrumental in creating the 30-day plan to win Emasha over. So,
yeah.
But I think it was telling that at the time I was looking up how much it would cost to like rent or buy in Sri Lanka, because I'm like, there's a chance Emasha's not coming back, and if she doesn't, I guess I'm moving to Sri Lanka to try and pursue.
Oh my God! I did not know that you were looking for real estate at the time.
I didn't remember that, but I looked back on like my searches at the time.
Seriously?
Yeah. So there was that. I was also looking up, like trying to learn to speak Sinhala, knowing that if I ever wanted to convince your parents, I need to learn it. And there's so few resources, like we've talked about, for English speakers wanting to learn Sinhala. It's all Sinhala speakers trying to learn English.
Yeah.
There's one guy called Dilshan, bless you Dilshan, who like runs his own kind of little website teaching phrases. And like one of them was like, it was very helpful. I paid for like the premium package so I could download a whole lot of pre-prepared phrases. And one of them was sentences you can say to your love muffin.
And what was the singular phrase of that?
There was a few phrases, but it came with a disclaimer. He's like, don't say these like lovey phrases to your partner in public because like people will throw up around you, because anything kind of sweet that you'd say in English that might be a bit cheesy is apparently just disgustingly...
It is very disgusting.
Overly PDA and singular.
Person who's just hearing it probably would crawl under a table.
Yeah, I think it was stuff like...
Good advice.
Oya mage vastua.
Yeah, that's pretty cute.
Which is, you are my treasure. But apparently if you say it on a bus, people are like, bleh, bleh, get away from me. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Yep. So that's where I was at. So Sri Lanka and New Zealand were about to collide in the very next episode of Sorry Amma, I Married a Kiwi.
Yes.
We will pick it up immediately from...
We're going to talk about the particulars of the proposal story that related to us.
Oh, I was just waiting for you to say the proposal in like a dramatic voice.
Oh, I can do that.
So next week we'll be picking... Again. Okay. Next week we'll be picking it straight up from...
The proposal. Is it good?
That's real good. That's solid.
Right.
We hope you've enjoyed today's comedic, dramatic readings of newspaper proposals in Sri Lanka, probably a sentence you haven't heard before on one of your favorite podcasts.
And apologies, we're not making fun of anybody, but at the same time, if you're only considering your kids' future on their fairness or
Caste.
skinniness or the caste
Or horoscope.
or
Solely the horoscope, maybe. Maybe put a few other like important factors
or
in
the
there.
career on its own. I'm sorry, I'm gonna make fun of you.
Like I would not mind the horoscope stuff as much if there weren't already so many other like arbitrary barriers
Exactly.
to each match. It's like, do you need another one? Like,
Yeah.
can't you rewrite the stars?
As we did.
Oh my gosh, I showed my favorite movie, A Knight's Tale, to Emasha recently. Do you remember
Yeah.
the scene where he's like, I did rewrite my stars. I was bawling.
It was so. That is. Oh my god! This is a mind-blowing moment. I did not reconnect those two.
It's foreshadowing for our story where we had to rewrite the stars.
That is beautiful, Sam.
Okay, that's enough cheese for one episode.
I think we're gonna go now.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time, guys.
Sorry, Amma.
I married a Kiwi. Bye-bye.
Bye.